a little bit.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Berger Bros Podcast, episode 6. Got the bros all here. How's everyone doing?
We out here.
Yeah, we here.
Yeah, we were just all having a conversation before the podcast started, and I was like, hey, why don't we just start this thing and have this conversation while we're all recording? It's probably the smart thing to do. But yeah, we were just talking about, meme coins and trading and things like that. Since it's the new craze, and man, there's just crazy amounts of money to be made, crazy amounts of money to be lost. And you hope that you're on the green side of the fence.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because for years, we got into crypto 2017 and the whole last cycle, these meme coins. Well, it's actually funny. My first meme coin was Doge back in 2000. It must have been 2018. And I threw $25 at Doge back then. And I just forgot about it. And it was on my Bittrex account because back then, Bittrex was like the biggest exchange next to Binance. Now it's out of business. Fucking bunch of scammers over there. But it was the legit one. And so when Packet listed on there, I went and opened that account, and I went and I went to go open a new one, and they're like, "Oh, you already have an account." And I was like, "Oh shit!" So I went and reset the password and figured out how to get in there. And I got in there, and the only thing in there was Doge, and it was worth $600. So I had $25 into $600 over 5 years.
Forgot about it.
But all this last cycle, I'm just like, man, meme coins and all that stuff is just trash. I didn't get in this game to do trash coins and shit coins and blah, blah, blah. And then I just watched so many people get so rich. We were just over at Consensus. And what's that guy, Shib something? The guy that put 2 ETH down and exited at $5.2 billion in SHIB.
Unbelievable.
Guy's just crazy too.
Out. He walks around with he's got a gold mask on.
And 5 bodyguards.
And he's got all these bodyguards around him. And he was like, whoa. We went to the fight night. And I was like, what's the deal with this guy? I didn't know that was that guy. He just was walking around the ring and high-fiving people. And there was these huge guys that were walking around with him. And then Josh told me after that he's the guy who exited with $5 billion. And now
I never even heard about this guy.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't show his face anywhere? Or is it just so he doesn't want people to know who he is so they don't try to mug him or something?
Yeah, he doesn't want to get just ousted.
Kidnapped?
I mean, dude, the guy's walking around with $1 million watch on, he's got protection.
Dude. Yeah. Even if you had that money, you wouldn't do that shit.
All that to say, we ain't making that mistake twice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's kind of crazy because, all the hype. It's funny, even on our last podcast, we weren't talking much about meme coins, but, all the hype was around the Bitcoin halving and the crypto market moving, and nobody was really prepared, I don't think, for the craze of meme coins and how some of these projects can go from just being a little, picture, some drawing that some fucking guy made on, wherever on ChatGPT 4 turns into $1 billion market cap. And I mean, even the art isn't even good. And I'm talking about Brett. It's Brett, I think it's at 1.6 billion right now. Almost.
It just went from 400 million 2 weeks ago to 2 billion 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, who would have thought?
Yeah, well, you guys are idiots because you're the ones that actually told me about it, and I was the only one.
I have bread. I got bread at I think I got it at 6 cents or something, 5 cents. Yeah, 6 cents.
Yeah, I think I'm at.
I didn't get a lot of it, but I got some.
I told you all to buy it, and I didn't buy it.
Jesse's the king. Jesse's the king of saying, "Hey, get into this project," and then not even getting himself into it.
And then everyone
how to make money. And then be like, "Whoa, how much do you have?" Well, I didn't get any.
And then he goes throws his money into some fucking absolute trash that just gets rug pulled, and he loses all his money.
No, I'm the king of the rug pull, dude. I've gotten rugged on so many projects, but I feel like you gotta like get rugged like at least 5-6 times to really get your feet wet in the game and know like, okay, this is not what I want. I want to be, doing 2 to 10x if possible. And it's funny, but 2x is still amazing. Like if you double your money, like dude, if you put $1,000 down and you make 2, or you make $1,000, dude, that's a great day's work. I mean,
hours work. That shit happens so fast.
I'm saying though that like, dude, to make $1,000 in a day is, for a normal person, that's really fantastic. Like we should all be so lucky,
All right, so let's zoom out. For people who don't, know what we're talking about. So, all right, so Josh, what's a meme coin? What would you say? We'll do a little fast question to kind of give people the education. Make it quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy thing to say because so many things can be memes. But a meme is basically a parody on some concept where people are making fun of it. You've seen the text over a picture, or you've seen just like somebody says something stupid by accident, and then that turns into like a meme or a joke that everyone jokes about.
Yeah. So what's a meme coin then?
So a meme coin is where somebody takes that parody or that joke or whatever, or a piece of art or whatever, and then tokenizes it and makes it into a coin, and then lists it using Solana or Ethereum as like the chain, and just creates an absolute shit coin that has no utility, no purpose whatsoever. I mean, they'll say there's utility, but let's be honest.
All right, Jared, how would you describe a meme coin?
It's an asset that somebody created out of thin air to make a lot of money off of.
Yeah.
And they're usually based on a piece of art or an animal or something like a dog with a hat, and you get to create a community of people that just want to make a ton of money. And so they hype it. They get a bunch of call groups to push it out there, and those things 2,000 to 3,000x.
Yeah. And so what I would say is a meme coin is, like Josh said, it's a parody or an idea, a meme. And then the coin part is it's something that you can own. So it's like gives you the ability to say, hey, I'm a part of this. I'm part of the community. And when you put those two things together, essentially in the world of cryptocurrency, you can buy something that you're part of, that kind of denotes that you're part of the community. And what happens is that those communities are drawing people together around an idea or a meme or something like that. And and that's it. And that's a meme coin. And so what you're doing if you're buying, or it's hard to call a meme coin investment, but when you're making as much money as people are making, it basically is, when you're investing into a meme coin, you're basically looking for some sort of idea or community that has a level of virality or subscription or people rallying around it. And as a result of all those people coming together and the narratives all coming together and the PR and the marketing and the community and everyone kind of rooting for it to win, the price goes up. And it's just what happens. And with cryptocurrency or stocks for that matter, anything, if there's a lot of demand and a limited supply, the price is going to go up. It doesn't matter where that is. If it's a housing market, car market, stock market, meme market. And you're seeing another part of that being in the traditional markets. I was just explaining this to my stepmom yesterday. In the traditional markets, if an asset, if a stock, for example, was to go up dramatically, or go down dramatically within a certain range, or if the entire market crashes within a certain percentage point, they'll shut it off. They have these circuit breakers that stop the trading from happening when something gets too crazy. We saw this. Usually you wouldn't think that they would shut off trading when a price goes up, but we saw that happen with GameStop.
Yeah.
And it was basically kind of criminal, if not.
And they did that with the what was the movie theater AMC? They did it with AMC too.
Same thing. And so, and Bed Bath and Beyond, I think was another one, or and BlackBerry is another one. And so, what's happening is that all these hedge funds were shorting these major stocks that,
which basically means that they're betting that it's going to go down.
Right? So, and there's a whole thing. We don't need to get into the exactly how shorting works, but it basically means you're betting against something and you want it to go down. And so, all these people started rallying around these stocks, buying them to make them go up, knowing that if the trade moves against these hedge funds, then they're going to have to actually put money in to cover their losses. And the losses were dramatic and went into the multiple billions. And
that goes into the hands of the people who own a lot of it.
And all the money was going to the people, right? And so that was this whole movement that happened in 2021. And so they called these stocks in the stock market meme stocks. Just because it was like everyone was rallying around and you would buy the stock because you believe in the mission of effing over these major hedge funds and Wall Street players. And then what happened is when the price started going up like crazy, when GameStop, I think it went from like a couple dollars up to like $400+, they would pull the plug. And they'd be like, oh, there's a problem on the back end. We had to shut down trading because it was like, not because there was a problem, but because somebody was literally about to go have their entire life worth and their shareholders' bank accounts emptied out into the people's pockets. And that's not how.
Dude, you know what's crazy about that? You know what's crazy about that is my buddy Henry, he told me about what was happening when it was like $7, and he was we were having, he was like, dude, there's like all this talk on Reddit, and the community, or these people are coming together and they're gonna mess over the all these big hedge funds. And he's like, I bought like a couple $100 worth of GameStop at $7, and they're gonna try to get that thing up to $20. I was like, whoa, that'd be cool, And then it went up. He ended up selling his entire position at $40
and went to 400.
It went to 400. And I didn't even know what he was talking about. I had never even like, I think I had one stock, and it was like gold from when you had told us to buy some gold in like 2012 or something. And it was, I think I was down like 70% on it because it was probably gold at an all-time high back in like the early, 2010, 2000, whatever. But yeah, dude, it was like one of those moments. I was right there. I could have been a part of it. I could have made, millions of dollars if I'd put maybe 10 grand in. But I did.
But there's been these opportunities. And I think the key takeaway from for me in the last bull market, 2021, around memes is that, and Josh poo-pooed them, I poo-pooed them. I was like, I'm not investing in that. It's complete garbage. Is that the reality of anything that you're investing into is if there's a lot of community around it and a lot of people that are excited about it, buying it, then the price is just going to go up. We saw that even happen with the housing market in 2021. It's like everyone was during the pandemic wanting to move, and there was just, everyone was buying houses and money was cheap. Loans were cheap. People had a lot of cash at that time because of you didn't have to work and you were getting stimulus money, and people were running out and buying houses. And so the price of housing literally went up dramatically, 20-30+% during a very short period of time. And the same thing happens with any stock that runs, when a lot of people, we saw it happen with like Nvidia, and we saw it happen with Tesla. And like when people get around these stocks and believe that they're something life, world changing, then people rush in and buy them and the price goes up. Right. And so with memes, with the meme stocks, kind of to contrast between the traditional markets, where if something goes up too fast, they can shut it down, or something goes down too fast, they can shut it down. In the crypto market, there is no circuit breaker because it's a global 24-hour market. there's no like central person who can just stop trading when Bitcoin's going up too high. There's no one who can stop trading when a meme coin's going to zero. And and there's no one who can stop trading when a meme coin's going up to $5 billion market cap. And so like 2 days ago, actually rewind, this guy that we follow back to the meme coin stuff, he called this cryptocurrency called Brett, BRETT. And he said that it was launching on, or had just launched on, the Base blockchain, which is Coinbase has their own blockchain that they're building out to layer 2, which means something to some people and doesn't mean anything to others. But essentially, it's their own blockchain. And they had attracted, or somehow this project had come to be. There was like rumor that the artist who made the art was the same guy who did this other major successful project called Pepe. And this was going to be like the first big meme coin on the Base blockchain. So he called it was, I think, like a few pennies, or like under a few pennies. It was like under a penny. It was like a couple tenths of a penny. And he said, I think that is a conviction play. I think this is going to be big. You know, I'm starting to build a position in this. And he just told all of his community to get involved.
Right.
Meanwhile, I didn't do it. And fast forward to today, shit's up, I think 130x. He personally, I think he said that he put like 20 grand into it, and he made like, but like he made like $3 or $4 million off of just that one thing. But it went from, and then he called it again like 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. He's like, hey, this is a $400 million market cap. If this thing dips, like, you got to buy it. And it dipped.
And it came down. It went down to like,
it came down hard.
It down to like 2 cents.
Like 2 or 3 cents.
Yeah.
And then just turned and burned. It's at like 16 cents now, with a 1.6 or 17 cents at like a 1.6, $1.7 billion market cap. It was at a $2 billion market cap on Saturday or on Friday. And I think it's just getting started.
10. I mean,
yeah, it's probably going to go to at least.
I mean, I threw a couple $100 at it at 6 cents, and I was just like, and then it went down, and I was like, oh, I should have doubled down. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah,
but I just let it ride. You know?
Yeah, it's gonna keep going. I mean, I think.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like that's the thing. It's like, what makes one project go and the others don't? I think is if it's a legit project, because the hardest thing right now in the space is to find the ones that aren't full on scams, because anybody can make one. You just don't need very much liquidity to start. But there's a couple little things to look for. There's some websites called like Rug Checker. You can drop the address in there and see it, and it will pop up some warnings if there's only like one person who has all the who put up all the liquidity, or if there's one person that has, you know, a large portion of all the issued tokens. So if like, let's say like I launched a token with my brothers, and the 3 of us own 60% of the total tokens available, that would be a huge red flag, because the 3 of us could sell and completely wipe out all the liquidity. Well, obviously you wouldn't do that. You would think not to do that to your own project, but some of these people, they launch it, get people excited. It goes up to $100 million, or even like $1 million, or even the $250,000. And then they just pull it all out and take the $250,000 and walk. And you don't know who these people are. You don't know anything. You just got your money stolen.
Yeah.
And it's happening
every hour of every single day, like incessantly. It's like it's so crazy how much fraud and scamming is happening on both the Ethereum and Solana blockchains. It's insane. And it's even sometimes big people like Andrew Tate just was involved in some way with a project that just launched, and that thing went from like a couple $1 million market cap, like quick. It got to that level quick, and it shot up over the course of 6 hours to like an $80 million market cap.
It went up 100,000%, over 100,000%.
I've seen some up 1,000,000%. Like some of these memes going up 1,000,000%.
It's nuts. You're just looking at, and the people that got in early, that's why you got to be in those alpha groups and just know when that shit's popping and just get in. And you just got to, I think you just have to have enough money where you can just throw, take some big risks. And we were talking about this is like being able to like, and I just listened to, a live stream from one of those call groups. And he was just like, take your profit early and get your money out. And then you let it ride and you go and take the, 100,000%, but like, at least you're playing with the house's money. And so like his whole strategy was just like, I throw it in, I get in early, I go get that first pop, I take my money out. I don't take all the money out because you tripled or quadrupled your money in that first, couple hours. And then you just like, you're playing with the house's money and it doesn't, even if it does get rugged, it doesn't matter. You didn't lose anything.
Yeah. But that's the thing is, we've been playing these small hands, right. Like, being scared to throw in $1,000 because you don't want to get rugged. But so if you go and throw, a half soul in, dude, you're gonna make even if you 3x, you're only making $150.
Right.
So it's like you gotta have the fucking balls to go and throw $1,000 on the table.
Yeah.
And then when you 2 or 3x, yes, pull out your $2,000, leave $1,000 in there or $500 or whatever you feel comfortable with, and then let it ride. Like we were just talking about this morning. I found somebody called this project and I hit it just happened. I was talking to Jesse about it and I was like, yeah, I just jumped in and I'm already up 2x. And then Jesse jumped in and then he went up 2x, took out his profit, or he just sold the whole thing. He's like, I'm out. I got, I doubled my, I turned 3 soul into 6 soul. I'm out. And then I was like, I had gotten in, a little earlier. So I had a little bit more, had gone up more. And so I took out my initial and then I was like, I'm just going to leave, a half soul in or a soul in or whatever. And then it started to tank and I got scared. So I just freaking sold it and walked away. But then it went right back up and it went and hit another 2x or something like that. And then it got rug pulled and it's gone. But then what was crazy is this one, I follow a bunch of calls groups and this one guy called it. And then the next guy called it and the next guy. And then all of a sudden, it's a winner when, 2 or 3 of the groups that you're in are calling the same token,
Yeah.
So that's kind of a cool thing. If you one guy calls it and then everybody calls it, that thing's going to just go crazy because I feel like a lot of these call groups are also in a bunch of other call groups and everybody's kind of just like copying each other.
Yeah.
And it's all coming from one, mega source. Who's the king? Who's the king meme lord that's telling everybody which memes to go and call?
That would be Josh's friend. Who Josh decided to not listen to or understand what he was telling him, and probably missed out on at least a few $1 million worth of gains over the last couple of years.
Hurts my heart.
When was when was the first call that he gave you?
It's 25 weeks ago.
So 25 weeks ago. So Josh was like 25 weeks ago. He was like, where was Whiff 25 weeks ago? And I'm looking at Whiff and I'm like, bro, that was like an hour before. That was like an hour after it launched.
Dude, that was like 6 months ago, Josh.
I know.
Yeah.
And you just like not take a look at your buddy's tech.
That particular project.
I honestly didn't know how to approach it because I wasn't like, he had all these things. They're not listed on the big exchanges. They're all DeFi.
Yeah.
Especially back then.
I didn't really know about Dex Screener.
Yeah,
I didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And I did go on to like Uniswap and I was trying to look it on Uniswap. But that's not even how you do it. And it was just like, I just got lost in then I just kind of shelved it. I'm like, all right, there's some learning, some education I need to do.
Yeah.
And I had it and I just, our lives, it's just fucking nuts. So yeah, I blew it. But I mean, it's a perfect example of like, you just gotta go take some time to go learn some new stuff. And I think it's a common thing. It's not like, I think people listening to this can just relate to that, where you get this new opportunity and you're like trying to make sense of it, So you shelf it and you're like, oh, that's a project that goes into the project bins.
And you're also working on a million other things.
That's what I mean. You know, for me to go learn, Solana meme coins like that, there's a learning curve there, right? And it takes, and like, just think about what our learning curve has been to get now. We're not experts by any means, but we're definitely bigger experts than I was 6 months ago. And so you just kind of shelf that kind of stuff. But, a lot of times you shelf it just because you have resistance to go and do the work. But that laziness, that procrastination literally costs millions of dollars.
Yeah. I was going to bring up the chart, but I can't.
Bring up just deck screener.
On that thing was Whiff. It was Popcat, Bonk. I think Pepe was
on there.
Yeah, Pepe was on there.
Pepe. Oh my god.
Yeah, just a couple. Ones that sting.
Whenever a meme coin goes on like the big exchanges, you know that it's gonna go big. That's just a given. You can expect that any meme coin, if funny one is a perfect example is Mumu the Bull. My friend Dave, he told me about Mumu the Bull. He was like, I was looking at MEXC, the exchange, and I was looking at what the next meme coin they're listing, and I saw Mumu the Bull. And I was like, well, wait, don't buy it right when it lists. Like, give it a little bit, because usually any coin that gets listed, it shoots up and then it comes crashing down. And then he bought like right when it launched, because
he didn't listen.
Yeah, he just wanted to get in his position right away, because and then it came smashing down, and it was down like really far down, like. And he got in early. He was able to build his bag at such a low number on the second and third buys that it brought his DCA like way down, like crazy down. And then Mumu almost back up to all-time high. And so, but Mumu's on all these exchanges, and they have a crazy, amazing community. I actually made a couple funny memes for them, and they actually used them. It's pretty funny.
That was what I saw, that Ponke one, and I saw those like funny videos that they were putting onto Instagram Reels, and they were just hilarious, and they were just very like shareable. I was like, this one's gonna be. I'll take a flyer at this. I threw $50 at it just because I just didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't tell any of us about it. Thanks.
I threw $50 at it, and I just looked. It's worth $1,300 today.
Well, you should be kicking yourself in the freaking unit for not putting $1,000, and you have 100.
Should have thrown
$1.6 million.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is like the beginning of it. Like this is what's funny about this whole thing is like, we're in the middle of this stuff, and we're like, oh man, missed opportunities. But like most people aren't even paying attention. They're not even paying attention for another like 3 months when the bull market really kicks off. Right now,
next year, they're not even going to pay attention till next year.
Yeah, you're right. Next year, when like people are just like
February
on the cover of Forbes for new like 5 billionaires of crypto. Then people are like, oh, I want to be a billionaire too. I'll just
I'll just buy Bitcoin at 150K.
Let me buy the top.
I'm gonna buy the top, and then it's gonna crash, and then I'm gonna sell, and I'm gonna cry and get divorced.
I've been saving all my life savings. I have about $250,000. I'm gonna buy 1 Bitcoin with it, and hopefully it's gonna go to 1 million, and then it just gets rugged.
We're going to 1 million.
I'm gonna turn $250,000 into 1 million on Bitcoin at the all-time high.
That's what's crazy about these things is that like, the price of them are like 0.000005, and then it goes up to 1/10 of a penny, and you eliminated like 5 zeros. And that's how these guys are turning. Like some of these projects are crazy. Like you can go on Deck Screener, and look at the top traders or top traders on a project, and it will show you that like some of these guys. They threw in I saw one guy threw in like $80 and made like 10 G's. I was like, what? How did you know how did you know about this project that to throw $80 in and it would turn into 10 G's? If he had thrown in $100 or $1,000, he would have friggin' 100.
I think you throw $80 at a bunch of things, and that's kind of that is a strategy where you're like, it's $80. I don't care if I lose $80. Like that's basically half a soul. So you're like, oh, I'll just throw half a soul at all these projects. One of them is going to pop up. And that's actually like that sniper strategy that people are doing where they're literally just every single project that gets listed, they're just throwing a soul at it, just throwing a couple $100. And you just like, it's a numbers game, 1 or 2 or 5 of those hit, you just made enough to cover that cycle to keep going.
That's actually an interesting strategy. I was just thinking about it. Like if you threw, let's just say you throw $50 at a token right when it launches.
Yeah.
Or let's just say you throw like 5 soul right away. And then you sell it within like
which one.
No, anyone. It doesn't matter. They're not rugging the project within the first 5 minutes of it. That's the thing. Usually it takes 5-10 minutes before they pull the rug. So what I'm saying is like, if you just go in and throw 5 soul or 2 soul, or let's just say you throw 1 soul, and then you 50% make $50 out, and you do that 20 times, dude, you're making some money, dude. You make $500.
You could even be more aggressive because usually they do go up more than even a couple.
No, they go up. I've been in a couple where I was like, "Fuck, I'm up 100%."
Yeah, but not all of them have liquidity. So, like, even if you just think about it, like what your strategy, where you're like, "I'm just gonna throw it at every single one of them." Some of them don't even have any liquidity in there, so you're just like literally your money is the only liquidity in there. And so you can't even pull out.
No, they all start with like $3,000 in liquidity.
Not all of them. I mean,
pretty much. I mean, I have rarely seen a new token launch on Solana without liquidity. And I'm talking about jumping into the ones that have locked liquidity too. So like the worst thing that's going to happen is it's going to rug and nothing you can do. The liquidity is locked and burned. So even if the project goes to 0, it's still got its liquidity stuck in there. Nothing you can do about it.
So hold on. So we should explain a couple of these concepts because some of this stuff could be like hard for people to follow. So basically, when you're launching a project, obviously making a cryptocurrency is extremely easy. It's literally like issuing stock. Anyone who started a company and you start your company, the lawyer or whatever processor is starting it for you, they're just going to say, how many shares do you want? It could be 5 shares. It could be 5,000 shares. It could be 50 million shares. It could be 5 billion shares. It doesn't matter. You just make up a random number. And then based on how many shares you create, or in this case, tokens, those get issued and they all go into a wallet. And so now you have those. And then if we're starting, a cryptocurrency project with, 3 million tokens, I could give 1 million to me, 1 million to Josh, 1 million to Jeremy. Now we each have 3 million. And then we could also choose, we collectively have 3 million. We each have 1 million. Then we could collectively choose how many of those we're going to sell. And then you're basically putting those into what's called a liquidity pool. And when you do a liquidity pool, you have to put liquidity on both sides, meaning you got to have an equal amount of your coin or token and an equal amount of some sort of currency on the other side. And so in the cryptocurrency world, there's a couple different types of currencies. That's why we're mentioning Solana or Ethereum, or you could have a stable coin, which just means it's, a 1-to-1 pair with the US dollar. And you put that on the other side. And so that's what's called a liquidity pool or an LP. And what Jeremy's mentioning is to lock that. So what a rug pull is if, let's say, Jeremy's the developer and he puts in 50 grand into the liquidity pool. And so everyone starts coming into this project, buying the cryptocurrency, his meme token or whatever.
And the liquidity pool is the liquidity for people to be able to,
to exit or enter, right? So if I'm coming into the project, I want to buy, then I'm buying tokens out of that, and my money goes in, and now the liquidity pool increases. If I want to sell my tokens, I sell them, and that money comes back to me, and I give my tokens back into the liquidity pool. And there's a technology that does what's called market making, automatic market making, and it calibrates the liquidity pool based on buying and selling, and that's what determines the price.
Do they do market making on
you can do market making. You can have outside market makers working, and then automatically
even on Solana coins.
Yeah. And you'll see it. You'll
what
see
would
that.
They would they just be doing trading on like Radium or something?
Yeah, they're just
they're just using a bot, and just the same thing that you do on any exchange. They're just bot trading into the deck, into the decentralized exchange. And so what a rug pull is if that liquidity that's in the liquidity pool is, let's say, Jeremy's, he put the 50 grand in, it's his money. He has the liquidity pool token that kind of is the receipt for having put the money in there. And then he could go in and just redeem his receipt and take all that money out. If you do that, then all the liquidity is gone. All the sell side liquidity, meaning all the cash or the stable coin or the cryptocurrency that you would want to exchange your tokens for. And because all the cash is gone, or the liquidity is gone, you're just stuck with a token that has no value, and you can't even sell.
And then when you do that, you get a big red candle, and then everybody sees that and they sell real fast so that they can save their, their money that they put in. And then it just flash crashes the whole thing and usually goes to zero. But
basically it's like a bank run. It's where everybody tries to withdraw at the same time and nobody can because there's not enough cash to support it.
But also, let's just say that did happen and there was $50,000 in liquidity that I pulled, but the market cap was, $500,000, and there was, another $250,000-$200,000 in liquidity. Even if I pulled $50,000 out, it would just drop the market cap by $50,000, which is a lot of money to see all at one time. So that's what spooks people to make them, want to sell. But it's just like, it's not the smart thing to do. I mean,
no, it's not the smart thing. But look, we see this stuff in traditional markets too. I mean, look at what happened with Signature Bank. I mean, we saw that happen with the Silicon Valley Bank. Like, that's a bank run, right? Where everyone's trying to pull their money out and there's not enough cash to support the thing. So, everyone looks at crypto and they're like, oh, it's all a bunch of scammers and blah, blah, blah. But like, it's literally happening in our traditional world too. It's just not on crypto. It's just, everything moves way faster in crypto, It's like, you got to be paying attention.
24 hours.
Yeah, it's a 24-hour market. And if you're going to go play in this game, you got to be paying attention. It's not a passive investment, And it's funny because you look at these traditional markets and people are like, yeah, I invested my money. I get a 20% year-over-year return. And, I'm happy. I'm going to keep working my 9 to 5 until the day I die. And I got my 401k. And as long as it's yielding and a compound interest and all these things work, then I'm going to live a comfortable life and I can retire and, leave $20 to my children. But in crypto, I mean, if you do a 20% return, that means you basically missed the green candle. And on the other side, you could literally get a negative return of 100% just as quickly.
Yeah. I was trying to find a rug pull project. It's, for some reason, they're just like,
yeah, Jeremy, why don't you just look in your past trades?
Hey, that's messed up.
So many on here. It's just they're usually just like one candle. I've just been randomly clicking on ones, and they're just like one candle pump and dumps. They just go straight up.
Go to the one that was from
which
from
one
today.
What was it called?
Tanuki or something.
Yeah, Tanuki? What was the name of
it? Here, look it up. I think it was Tanuki or something.
Tanuki. Right? Did that thing get rugged?
I mean, it didn't get rugged, but it got absolutely battered.
Yeah, but there's a big difference between like a rug project.
Yeah, this one still has some liquidity. It still has $600,000 market cap. I'm talking about like one that
just go here. The way that you find them, it's super easy. You go to Deck Screener and you go to New Pairs, and then you go to 24 hours. And you click, and here's 100% T Series Productions. This is a rug. Oh, there we go. Big rug. Here, I'm gonna
let's share it.
Here, I'm gonna text it to you. For some reason, my share screen isn't working.
Okay, here.
But I just sent it to you. Here's a rug. What up? But you can see how long that this thing went up. There was opportunity to make some money before they rugged it, and that's what they do. Is these scammers they leave it up long enough to make people think that this is like something legit. And then they just, right when it gets to the tippy top,
Is this a Persian rug or a shag rug?
Yeah.
It's
all right. So
it's a rug straight from Costco.
This isn't the
got
rug
a lifetime return.
It's not the kind of rugs you want to put in your house.
Yeah, this is not.
These are the rugs you want to stay away from.
This is the
yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. That, my friends, that is a rug pull.
That's an old fashioned right there.
Here's where we started. Here's where we are.
but look how long it stayed. I mean, go to the hour.
Zoom in, Jess. Zoom in on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And look at and click on market cap so we can see up at the top. Yeah, you see where it says price, go straight up. What are you doing? There you go. Up at the top where it says price and market cap.
Price and market cap.
Yeah. Right there. You just were on it. Go up to the where the
right here.
Up,
yeah.
Click on market cap. Okay, so dude, that thing went up to $40 million market cap. Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah. So like if you had bought it down at it's you always know when anything starts in the million market cap, 20 million market cap, you launch in your 20 million market cap, it's a scam. There's no way.
Yeah.
You know that thing's going to get rugged. And I actually saw this one a couple hours ago because I was doing a little research. And man, some people got absolutely wrecked. Like you can go to Top Traders, click on Top Traders and see, and so you can look and see look at all these people. They didn't buy anything. If you scroll down and what they sold.
Yeah, they just sold.
buys. There we go. There's a guy, $488. Go up. That's guy. Oh my God, look at this guy. Go down, go back, Jess.
Yeah.
Oh no, never mind. This guy
so this guy bought 314,000 and sold 314,000.
But he made $400.
He was an insider.
So nobody made any money actually. Scroll up all the way to the top.
Yeah. This guy bought $162, sold $235.
No, go to the top, Jess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, these guys, all these people at the top, these are the people that took all the money.
Yeah.
Because they didn't actually have to buy any of the token. They just sold it.
And they all made $95,000 to $90,000 each.
Yeah. So
anyways, this was a full-on scam. And what's crazy is there's just thousands and thousands and thousands.
I mean, I would say 95% of all the tokens that are launched on Solana are scams. And the other 5% are gems. Yeah. And it's tough to find them, especially something like this where, you'd think that this could be good, especially since it ran up for so long.
Look, I think a lot of the ones that have like a good social media presence, like you can go into their community. It's not just like a trading bot that shows how many people are buying it. It's like, it's got some substance to it where people put some effort and not to say that means that it's going to be a gem, but I think that you got to do some due diligence. But the tough thing is like doing that due diligence takes time, and you could miss out on this green candle, So
you got to do it though. It's not it's not even like any project that I get into, I run it through rug checker first, no matter what. I don't care if I miss out on 20x. I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to lose my money right off the bat. I also look at the chart. I don't really like to get into anything that like just launches. I always like to see something that's been going for at least like 30 minutes to an hour. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times what happened, a token will launch and it will boost up like crazy, but it's going to come back down like crazy. And if it goes down like crazy past where it launched, it's going to be really hard to get back up. Yeah. That means a lot of the people who were in early, I
was going to say, but you can also go the other way, like this right here.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's the same for everything,
Yeah.
What's this? But yeah, this never went down to the, it didn't go back below where it launched is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it did. Look at the beginning.
Yeah,
I mean, it got a wick right down here to 2 cents. You could have caught.
Well, no, but yeah, it never went back. But no, but look where it started.
Yeah, I think it launched lower.
Look at that wick to the fucking moon on the far left.
But that, right here.
Yeah.
No,
it went up to 9 cents on the day of launch.
Look at the green. Look at the day of launch on the first wick. Look at the very first wick. Look at that thing wick to the sky.
Yeah.
And somebody took all that liquidity out.
Yeah, right here.
Right there. That first wick.
Right. Right.
So basically what these wicks look like. So these candles, right?
Daily chart, dude.
What?
That's a daily chart. Go to the 5 minute chart.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What? So what I'm saying, and you go to the first day that it launched. What I'm saying, it's like if on the first day, within the first hour, it goes up like crazy because that's what they all do, and then it comes crashing down because people who got in early took their initial liquidity out. But what I'm saying is if it comes down and it goes lower than where it originally launched at, it's not saying it's like that all the time, but it can be harder, to recover.
Right.
But it looks like it did, it went lower.
Yeah, this is probably a unique one because it's backed by Coinbase.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of knew that it was going to be something unique.
Coinbase had to go print some money for their shareholders,
Yeah. What a better way to do it than with a meme coin.
Yeah. You can see this thing. This is the 5 minute chart.
Yeah, so it definitely came down, but then
it definitely shot up on that 5 minute.
Yeah, that was a big day.
And then, oh my God, look at this candle.
People took liquidity.
And look at how much liquidity they took right there. That thing probably made somebody's butthole pucker when that happened.
Yeah, no, that was a scary moment.
But then look how fast it went up.
I know. But
it came down.
When you're sitting there and you're looking at that thing and it just goes off a cliff like that, you're like, ah! And you just
threw like 50 bands at it.
That happened with me with Top G, the Andrew Tate thing. I went in and I bought it, and I was just like, I saw that he had posted it. I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna just go in. I threw some money at it. Within like 2 minutes, it just cut in half, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
And it just, and it went sideways for that. And I was like, oh my God. So then I threw another soul in after it just to double down, which was actually a smart idea because it lowered my DCA to half of 6, between 3 and 6. So now I only had to get to like 5.2 just to be able to break even. But it wasn't going back to 5.2 forever. And I was like so pissed. I was like, fuck, man. And so I pulled out some money a little bit at like 4. And I was just like, I think I just lost all this money. And then I was going to bed and my eye just caught the chart. And I was like, wait, is it at 7 right now? And I was just like, sell. Yeah. But I also got greedy because I'm like, oh, if it's at 7, maybe this thing is alive. And so I only sold half of it at 7, and then it went down to 2. And so I just took the rest at 2, which was just like a joke. So I think the big thing is like, don't get greedy, and whatever you're leaving in, you just have to be ready for that to be at 0. And if you're cool with that, then you're cool with that.
I also don't like, if you're trading meme coins, like don't go to sleep with your full bag. Like if you're up even a little percentage, like take those profits, because I mean, the other night, I was up, like I had a huge upside, and then I was like, oh, maybe it will go up while I'm sleeping. And I woke up and 60% had gone down 60%. I'm like,
yeah, I think also, not all meme coins are created equal. That's also true. And there's a lot of like low cap or like new meme coins that just could be, very short lived, and most of them are. And it's tough because you don't know the difference between a Brett that's going to go to $2 billion and some piece of trash that's going to go to 0. And so like with Brett, yeah, you can go to sleep with that because it's kind of a blue chip meme coin. And there's other ones that are you could say are blue chip, but they can still drop by 50%. And so you have to have an understanding of like what your goals are with it. Also taking losses in crypto is just part of the game. So it's like, you're not going to win every single one. You're going to take some L's, and it's really hard to be a good trader in memes because they're just volatile, and you just don't know where that volatility is going to originate from and how long it's going to last. And it's a lot easier to invest in something. Most people think of investing in cryptocurrency like it's investing in stocks, and that's where it isn't the same at all because of the volatility, because you have to be willing to see your bag down by 20 or 30% at any given moment, and understand that it's either coming back or it's gone, and you should exit at a loss. What happens with a lot of traders, especially like new traders, and this definitely was like part of my experience early on, is you have a lot of anxiety around your investments, and you can do fundamental analysis where you look at the chart and you look at the levels, and then some outside black swan event like COVID or some weird thing can happen that can change the complexion of the markets, and your portfolio could be like wildly down, or you go straight into a bear market and it just like doesn't recover, or you try and dollar cost average in when it goes down, it just keeps on dipping. And there's just a lot of factors that are there to be taken into consideration. And so what I will say though is that this is a very unique moment in time. I know everyone, generally speaking, wants to make money, and it's a unique moment in time because we're after the Bitcoin halving. We talked about this in our, previous podcasts and discussed what the halving kind of meant, but also post halving, usually within 6 months of the halving, there's this very bullish period where a lot of really positive things start to happen. And because the halving always happens in an election year in America, generally speaking, if the president who's in office wants to stay in office, or if they've already been in 2 terms, like what happened with Obama, but they want to try and get another, you want to get like the same party elected into the next term, then every time we usually see some sort of economic, not prosperity, but some sort of economic upturn that usually happens in an election year, or at least the attempt of that occurring. And especially true since Bitcoin launched, in around 2009, 2008. So with that being said, this being an election year, having just occurred, and the markets and the economy, a lot of people are feeling the pain of inflation and high interest rates. And as we're anticipating, there's an interest rate cut and any type of positive economic shift that does occur, this, going into the election period, which is really imminent at this point, we'll start seeing money flow into usually these risk on assets. That's generally what we see, and that's stocks, that's crypto, and so that can be a catalyst for price increases around cryptocurrencies in particular. And so it is an interesting time to invest. Obviously, only invest what you can choose, or risk to lose, and that it wouldn't affect you on a personal basis. Although losing money always is an effect. But we've seen this now multiple cycles dating back to the beginning of Bitcoin, that in the post-halving eras, the markets heat up and a lot of cryptocurrencies just go sky high. And so it is a good time to look for opportunities to invest. I think I've never thought that I would be the one saying this, but a percentage of your portfolio should be in meme coins. I'm not saying it needs to be a double-digit percentage necessarily, but like as Josh said, even if you're just taking some flyers on a few that you've heard when people are talking about them, those are probably the ones that are gaining, some sort of traction. And the meme coins that gain traction are the ones that generally go up, in value substantially. And
then when your Uber driver starts giving you financial advice, that's when you sell everything.
Yeah. It's funny because Henry, same guy that told me about GameStop, he told me at the it wasn't the top, but he said that he had just sold all his crypto. I'm like, what? It's going to keep going. He's like, my Uber driver, dude. He told me, he asked me if I had any Dogecoin, and I just knew that was it. Game over. He sold everything, and then the market crashed like a month later. So
Henry has been
he's pretty
uncanny how good he's been. And what I love about Henry,
he's the best trader I know. He's
what I was
so
gonna say I love about Henry is he's like an unemotional trader for the most part. I mean, he just makes decisions and go with them. I like that about him. The other thing is that because he's got such a rich community of people in the music world and the surfing world, and like all the different communities that he's a part of, and he's got like friends all over the world, he hears about so much stuff like at the beginning. Good. I mean, he's just constantly got his finger on the pulse. So I love listening to what he has to say, because he definitely gets like some very kind of rootsy alpha that ends up being like populist. And you want populist alpha. Like, you want to know what everyone's gravitating towards. You want to know as early as possible. And generally just don't be like Josh, where you get the information and just don't even put a dollar on it.
Speaking of getting the information and not putting any money on it, I was airdropped this token called Rex Whiff Hat, and it's up 400% right now.
How'd you get an airdrop?
Somebody they just I think when you trade through your like wallet, because I was doing a bunch of trades through my Solana through Soulflare, and I think
when you didn't just show everybody your like private key.
Yeah, they can see it. You can see what shit coins. You can see a couple things at zero here. I got 69 cents on this one.
Nice. Hold on to that one.
And this is the other key. I'm going to teach you one thing that I learned the fucking hard way. Okay. Do not, I repeat, do not search for the project on the exchange. You want to go and search for it and find their website, or search for it on CoinMarketCap, or search for it on DexTrader to see which one has the highest liquidity with it. Because what will happen is people will there'll be a project that everyone's talking about, and people will create fake versions of those projects. And you'll just go and be like, oh, I'll buy this one because it says the name. And so what I did, which I'm an idiot, is Whiff was popping off, and I went onto the Dex, and I just went and searched for Whiff, and I just bought the first Whiff on there, and it wasn't Whiff, it was C Whiff, so cat with hat. And it was a fucking rug pull. So I put a soul in there, and we're 63 cents right now.
Well, that's why Dex Screener is so great, because you can actually go and look at the charts and look at they have all the social media for all the projects, and you can copy the actual contract address for that token and then paste it. I
always do that. You always want to copy the contract, and you always want to paste the contract. Don't search for it. Find the contract and then paste that contract.
Yeah. And there's also like a couple cool bots that you can use on Telegram to do your trading, so that like
Trojan bot.
Yeah, Trojan's cool one. But I don't know if I don't know if you guys know, I just saw this. They suggest to use a couple of their other ones. They have like a bunch of other Trojan bots like within the bot, and it makes it so that your transaction goes faster. So there's like a couple other ones that you can trade in, and it all connects to the same wallet.
Put a few of those resources in the description so people can.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll make sure to put my affiliate link in there.
Look, I mean, I'll tell you, like,
you can send me some free soul as a tip for these.
All right.
Obviously we've all been trading now for a lot of years, and I just feel like I'm a complete amateur at meme coin trading, so I figured it'd be cool to talk about it here, because it's something that we're just experimenting with, and there's definitely a learning curve it's so different than, what I've been doing with the other types of trading I've done in cryptocurrency, and particularly done really well with that type of trading. But with meme coins, like, this is a different level of volatility. And I just didn't understand that they can just disappear. If you're in the wrong thing, it can just literally disappear within like an hour. Some of these don't even last like an hour or two. And so it's really easy to lose your money. You definitely have to take a couple, beatings to get into it. But once you're kind of once you find what that rhythm is and you're getting the information in a timely manner, you have an experience like what happened today, where Jeremy and I are chatting for 2 seconds. He throws me a contract address. I put it in, double my money in, was like 90 minutes tops, and you're out.
Yeah.
And, if you throw, $2,000-$3,000 or $10,000 in, you're doubling your money, tripling your money within like an hour and a half. And that's real. It like really can happen. We saw with the Andrew Tate project, I mean, we went really conservative, which is a huge mistake because that project went up. You could have thrown 100 G's into it and doubled, tripled, quadrupled your money quick. There were people making hundreds of thousands of dollars in the first couple hours of that going live. And it sounds too good to be true. And it is, and it doesn't happen every single day. It's just to understand when there are opportunities.
Every single day. It's happening multiple times a day. And there's a lot of projects where you can catch these diamonds and just absolutely, 50, 100x your money. But the thing is you got, like this is happening every single second of every single day. Like people, I could go on Solana right now or on Dex Screener and I'll find projects that did it. I just wasn't there for it,
That's what I meant. Like, you're not going to find out about every single day, but you're right. It is happening every single hour of every single day. There's just generational wealth being created for traders that are in the right place at the right time. There's also just, there's so much scamming happening though. So it is risky. And like, you can go in with the mindset of like, oh, I'm just going to throw 100 G's at this and double, triple my money. And that can be life-changing when you lose it all because it was a scam. So I'm just saying, to find a good one that you can, I mean, there's no such thing as safely invest when you're talking about meme coins, but that you can basically have a good shot at getting out of it with. And we didn't even trust that RNT coin that we were going to be able to get out of it. But, and that's why we didn't invest heavy. Yeah, it's risky.
What's crazy about that is that one of the call groups that I'm in called it, and then it went down. He called it at like 1.7 or 1.6, and then it went down to like 0.9. And I was right there trying to buy it, and I kept on my app kept freezing, and I couldn't get in. And so I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll just wait till later. And then it ended up getting in like at 3, unfortunately. But
yeah.
And look, there's nothing wrong with 4xing your money. Like maybe you did
2x. 2x is huge.
Like 100,000% return in an hour, but like you quadrupled your money. Like you're stoked. Like just take those wins.
Hey, if you're quadrupling your money, that means we weathered a couple dips as well. Like, the one thing that you have to know, this is the one thing, and we'll just leave it at this. I think this is a good ending point. You have to know that nothing goes up in a straight line. Like the path from Bitcoin going from $2 to $70,000 is not straight up. If you zoom out across 13, 14 years, it looks like it just went bang right up. But like, there's so many volatile moments in that chart, and in time
COVID went to 3K.
Yeah, it went from 13,000 to 3,000. Like some people, had invested heavy, took loans out to buy crypto, and all of a sudden they're down 80% and just had to, write it off. And so I just think that you have to understand that, especially if you're going to go into something like memes where you could double, triple, quadruple your money in, 1-2 hours or 1-2 days or whatever, it's going to go on the way to up. It has to go down. And the reason is because, and I can show you really quickly on this.
Let's do it quick.
Yeah, I'll make it really quick. But the reason is because it builds momentum. And that's the key, is that you need the asset to build momentum. And so here, Joe, you have to make it so I can show. if I go to, and I'll just do this super quick on the daily. But usually what you'll see is that you can see right here, for this thing to get up to this highs up here, it went from, 8 cents all the way down to, under 3 cents, and then worked its way up. And on its way up, you'll see that it goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down, goes up a lot, comes down a lot. And when this is happening, when this drop is happening, and it's dropping from 9 cents to,
well, look at the wick. It actually wicked all the way up to 12 cents.
Yeah, it went even higher. So it went all the way up to almost 13 cents and then came all the way down to 7 cents in that day, that period. Like, you're thinking you're losing it all, right?
Somebody literally bought the top of that candle. That was a person
someone bought it there, and
like, just like, I'm in, and then it's like boom.
And you
I'm out.
Hold on, or
you're in, I'm
selling.
out.
And so what happens with a lot of traders, and this has happened, there's not a single trader on the face of the earth who can't say this has happened to them, where you've bought something and then it starts going down and you sell at a loss. And it's the common like buy high, sell low strategy. And that's because your emotions take over and you're like, I don't want to lose all my money, so I'm willing to take a 20-30% loss just to preserve that other 70%. So it's a long way of saying
the top and the bottom of this candle could have been the same person.
Maybe they bought it and then they DCA'd and bought it again, and that's why it shot up.
I always say, look,
they refinanced their house, they put it all on Brett, it dropped out, and then they sold it, and now they're on the streets.
Look, I always say, like, if it's a legit project, and this isn't always going to work out in your favor, but if you bought something at 2 cents and it drops to 1 cent, and you believed in it at 2 cents, then you should believe in it at 1 cent, and that's called dollar cost averaging. And you can basically buy more at a lower price, and you could bring your average price into the asset down. And that way, when it goes up, it doesn't have to get all the way back to where you bought it the first time to be able to get back to even. Those are all just like strategies and things you have to understand when you're going into it, that it's like a friend or one of us give you, hey, you should buy this asset, and it goes down. You're like, oh my God, I just lost my money. No, you only lose your money when you sell. If your bag is down, you haven't lost your money. You only lose your money when you basically lock in the loss by exiting your position and giving yourself no opportunity to recover. So there's a lot of psychological and emotionality that goes into trading. And I think the biggest thing that I've had to learn over the years to be a good trader is how to manage your emotions when you're losing, when you feel like you're down, when you want to make an impulse decision that could be the wrong decision, when you change your decision. And so what they always say, when you go into a trade, you need to go in with a plan.
Yeah.
You need to say, hey, I'm buying this at this price, and my goal is to make this much money or to make this much percentage. And when you hit that goal, you need to act on it. You can't be like, oh, I'm in it to make 2 times my money, and then all of a sudden it dips up to 2.1, 2.2, and you're like, ooh, maybe I'll just go for 3. And then all of a sudden you're down and you lost money because it dipped and you didn't take, and you're going to beat yourself up over that. So you just have to make a decision, go in with your decision, and have a plan, execute on the plan. Hopefully you get to execute on your plan, and as one of our good friends, Dave, always says, never look back, because it's just too painful. Just never look back.
And also never be mad about making money. Like, you can't be like, oh, I sold it only 2x and it went up into 10x and I didn't make the 10x. Like, don't be mad about making money.
Yeah. All right. Well, those are some good words of wisdom from guys who have grinded it out. Like, we just consider ourselves like average Joes in this game. Lost a lot of money, made a lot of money, learned a lot along the way, and then just trying to take those life lessons into this next bull market. And when friends, when we show projects that are up and people write me and say, what should I invest in? This is a good episode for people to understand that there's opportunities, but you have to be willing to take the risk and like ride it, So Godspeed.
Godspeed. Good luck to everybody.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Sayonara.
Catch you guys next week. Later.